ESPN Sunday Night Baseball from Fenway Park. And there is John Mabry taking a called strike from Derek Lowe as we start the Mariner half of the seventh. Mabry 0 for 2. Ray Sanchez and Dan Wilson to follow. Mariners have only 3 hits against Lowe. One is hit well. Damon going back. That one is over his head and up against the wall. Into second base is Mabry with a double. Well, it's been a very sad week for baseball fans all through New England. The longtime outstanding voice of the Red Sox, Ken Coleman, passed away on Thursday morning. Ken Coleman, who was here for the Impossible Dream season of 1967, which was a renaissance of Red Sox baseball. And he had a memorable call the opening day at Yankee Stadium when Billy Rohr, a rookie, nearly pitched a no-hitter, but Yastrzemski did save it in the 9th inning on a ball hit by Tom Trash. And we're going to take you to that here in a moment. This is 1967, Ken Coleman at the mic.
Here it comes. Fly ball to deep left. Yastrzemski is going hard, way back. And he dives to right side. Swings in and gets.
Here's the pitch. There's a fly ball to left field. Downing is going back. It's gone. It is gone. Dave Henderson has homered.
And, of course, another great moment in that 1986 League Championship Series when Dave Henderson hit that dramatic 9th inning homer. Ken Coleman, 78 years old. He passed away Thursday. And we send all of our prayers and best wishes to his family. So many of them today. Johnny Pesky was down there in Plymouth. And Ken was, in addition to being a great broadcaster, also at one time the executive director of the Jimmy Fund, raising funds for the research of cancer and the care of children with cancer at the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute.
He was also the broadcaster for the Reds for a couple of years when I was there. 74 and 75, I think 73, 74, somewhere in there.
And he was a former partner of mine. I would broadcast Red Sox games with Ken, and that was one of the great experiences for me in my broadcast career. I've never worked with anybody who had the whole combination of being a great broadcaster, a great person, and with such a generosity of spirit. Ken Coleman, very much missed. We were hoping to see him this weekend here in Boston.
I got to ride on the planes with him a lot of times when he was broadcasting for the Reds, and we became good friends there as well.
Wilson, it's a double play ball, and the Red Sox turn it. Scoring on the play, Mabry after the Sanchez single. He went to third. So even in scoring their first run of the game, it really was a downer for the Mariners.
Well, a good sinking fastball.
Number 51.
Low going away and down. And you have to give Wilson credit. He went the other way with it, hit it sharply, but he hit it right at the second baseman. And it's a very easy 4-6-3 double play.
Mike Timlin gets up in the Boston bullpen now. Ichiro fouls one. Ichiro is 1 for 3 in the game. My goal is for next year at this time, when Ichiro is doing those stretches, that you and I just get down there and do them with him. After we have our off season in Jamaica, doing all that yoga, of which you're so fond, apparently. I didn't realize.
Yeah, well, one of my personal trainers got me involved. Plus, it helps the golf game.
1-1 to Ichiro. Hit sharply, but right to Walker. And that is the inning. 6-1. That's Joe's yoga trainer right now. He's in the ballpark.
There's a state where there's fun around every corner, where all cars are turbocharged, and there's a direct link between the right foot and a smile. Maybe that's why people who test drive a Saab usually buy one. This is the state of independence. Welcome.
The Saab 9.5 linear sedan, available during the Everyday is Independence Day summer sales event for as low as $349 a month.
Oh, no more biking for you.
Oh, I know.
Oh, boy.
It's the moment of choice. Tylenol or Advil? What will the doctor give you?
truth is, doctors have made their choice. Doctors nationwide choose Advil most for muscle aches, strains, and sprains. It's simply a better choice. Advil gives you longer-lasting relief than Tylenol on tough muscle pain.
I'll drive.
Make the doctor's choice your choice. For longer-lasting relief, advance to Advil.
It's a tough job.
Welcome to the Sheriff's Department.
And these tough guys.
I'm your training officer. If you die, it is my fault.
Will handle almost anything the street throws at them. 10-8 Officers on Duty, a new drama, ABC Sunday, September 28th.
You know what's full of hot air? All those crazy claims from the Dish. That's what. The Dish makes you purchase their equipment. Cable doesn't. The Dish wants a long-term contract. Cable doesn't. The Dish goes out in bad weather and makes you pay for the service calls. And the darn thing looks ugly on the side of your house.
In the end, the Dish sounds pretty silly.
Adelphia, the connection you can count on. With Adelphia, it's all about simplicity.
Question. The car makers, airlines, fast food chains, you know, the big guys. What do they all have in common? They believe in television. Sure, they've got the big budgets to reach the big audience, but you're not trying to reach the big audience. You're trying to reach your customers in your neck of the woods, and that's cable television. It targets viewers. It targets neighborhoods. TV works, and cable advertising is just the television you need.
We're at Fenway Park. ESPN Sunday Night Baseball presented by Nextel. Red Sox 6, Mariners 1 as we go to the last of the 7th here at Fenway. And a new pitcher has come in for the Seattle Mariners. Meanwhile, we want to remind you again that Tuesday, ESPN Original Entertainment will present the series premiere of Playmakers, the critically acclaimed series about the off-the-field lives of pro football players, coaches, and even an owner of a fictional football team. Be sure to catch the premiere of Playmakers Tuesday at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, only on ESPN. If you'd like more information about that, log on to ESPN.com. And there is Julio Mateo on to pitch now for the Mariners in relief of Ryan Franklin, who got roughed up tonight at Fenway Park.
Attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. Now pitching for the Mariners, number 40, Julio Mateo.
David Ortiz wearing a microphone. Let's listen into some of the Sunday night sound as heard by Ortiz.
That's for you, Joe. That's for you, Joe. Thank you, Joe. Yo, what are you doing tonight? I go for a drink?
Yeah, I guess he thinks I'm a good luck charm, right? He wants to keep me around.
Sounds like he's buying.
Well, he must be.
And Mateo's curveball is too low. 1 ball and no strikes. Ortiz hit into a bases-loaded double play to end the first. Then with 2 men in the third, he rounded out. But suddenly got another opportunity in the fourth, and this time he cashed in with a 3-run homer, which we saw, which he apparently hit for Joe Morgan.
Well, I don't know if it was exactly for me. We just were talking before the game, and we were talking about how good a hitter he was. At least I was saying how good a hitter he was and how hot he had been. And he just said he wanted to stay hot tonight. He was fortunate enough to do it. I mean, that wasn't as good as the Babe Ruth call shot now. He just told me he was going to do it, but Babe Ruth kind of pointed, remember? Oh, we're still arguing over that.
I've seen the film of it.
Oh, yeah.
You said that there was no question
now. No question.
But that he had called the shot.
Yeah. I also read another article. Lou Gehrig, who was on deck, said he called her. Now.
There you go.
And they weren't good friends either.
Well, what do you keep looking at me like I'm disagreeing with you?
Oh.
When a journalist such as yourself says that it was a called shot, you've done the research?
I did a little research there and said that Lou Gehrig said, yes, he called it. He was in the on-deck circle.
And he stood at the plate. He went like this.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm going to hit it out of here.
And then he hit it out.
Yeah, and then he hit it out. That's why, you know, the part of the mystique of the Babe.
Of course, the film looked more like he was going like, I don't know, didn't just stand there pointing like that.
No, that's true, but, well, maybe he was just using the whole section. He didn't know exactly where he was going to hit it.
Sometimes I get reality and movie depictions of it and even artists' renderings of that, I get some of that confused.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure he didn't pick out one fan and say, I'm going to hit it right at that fan. See, it was just the whole section.
That would have been impressive, though.
Yeah.
Impressive.
It would have.
You say he called it? He called it.
Yeah.
There are others who were there who say that he didn't call it.
Yeah, but they weren't, you know, they weren't in the Lou Gehrig was in the on-deck circle. You heard it.
Well, all those people who were there who said he didn't call it, I don't have loyalty to that.
No, I don't either. And remember one thing, that the Red Sox are still trying to erase the curse of the Bambino.
Kevin Millar on deck. Well, Kevin Millar says that there is no such thing. That's just old stuff. He's tired of hearing about it. And he says it's time for some people to cowboy up around here. Now, you were born in Texas, right?
Correct.
So are you familiar with that cowboy up phrase? He's from Texas, and he says that's a Texas phrase. And Ortiz hit it sharply, but right at Boone. So the home run was for you, Joe. That was for Brett. One down. Kevin Millar. I want to see somebody cowboy up and stand behind this team one time and quit worrying about all the negative stuff and talking about last year's team and 10 years ago in 1986. I don't know any better, man. I'm here to win and have fun.
And that's a positive attitude.
But now, who does he want to see cowboy up? His teammates or the talk show hosts or the fans themselves who call the talk show? Who is it that he's asking to cowboy up?
I don't think it was his teammates.
Okay. So he thinks that maybe the fans should get a little more behind the team. Is that it? Millar is retired. He's 0 for 4 in this game.
I think the tough part is I had lunch with two friends today. You know, the Bass family, and they're very passionate about this team, and that's what it is here in Boston. The Boston fans are very passionate about the Red Sox. And, you know, the Red Sox have gotten off to good starts the last couple of years, and it looks like this is their year. And then they end up not winning. I mean, that's a big letdown for someone who is, you know, for fans who are as passionate as they are. And I think when things go well this year, they're great. And when things start to go a little poorly, I mean, it seems like they say, here we go again. And I think that's what the players are thinking. Well, it's not here we go again. This is a different team, different group of guys, and we're a better team than we were before. But I think all of that is always going to be there. That skepticism is going to be there until they beat the Yankees or until they get to the playoffs. But I think they can.
Dusty Baker seems to have encountered some of that same kind of negative feedback from long-suffering Cubs fans in Chicago.
But they're only that way because they have such passion for their team.
Well, I like the way Dusty has put it because he's put it that way many times. He says, I know they react that way because they care so much.
They care. And I mean, fans that do not care do not react. So I'd have to say that you want your fans to care, and you just hope that you can give them what they deserve.
I will say the Red Sox have had a lot more success than the Cubs.
Correct.
Especially the last 30-plus years. I mean, way more success. I mean, the Cubs haven't been to a World Series since 1945. Trot Nixon, the hitter. He's 1 for 2 with a walk. Mateo in relief of Franklin, who went 6 innings and gave up 6 runs and 11 hits. Anyway, so it's all interesting.
Yeah, well, I think it's great. I mean, it's what baseball is all about. Fans are passionate about their teams, and the players, you know, want the fans to be behind them. I mean, they want the fans behind them. I think one of the great things we did earlier this year was with Ichiro. He said the great thing about playing here is that all the fans' eyes are on you.
He said he really enjoys it here.
Right.
He says Fenway he enjoys very much because it's got a great atmosphere for playing baseball. Guillen, Boone, and Olerud coming up. Red Sox lead 6-1.
SWAT is the most honored police division in the world.
Okay, guys. This is what we're trained for.
Mount up. We got the call.
Nextel's walkie-talkie, coast to coast. Nextel SWAT, now in theaters.
they're a 4x4. Let's get to the bottom of it. Almost 10 inches of ground clearance. A steel ladder frame. Shift on the fly, four-wheel drive. Full-length protective skid plates. Now get 0.9 financing and $1,500 cash back on all new Xteras. Drop everything and see your Nissan dealer.
Let's see, I bought yellow pencils, yellow Post-it notes, yellow boxers. Yellow boxers.
$14.
Land courier, air courier, pedicure, reader.
$137.
2 printers, 2 scanners, 2 tutus.
$540. Keeping business expenses separate from personal expenses? Priceless. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. Apply online for the MasterCard business card.
ESPN Sunday Night Baseball, presented by Nextel. Nextel, life's better when your cell phone has a walkie-talkie. And in part by Nissan and your Nissan dealer.
Fenway Park, Boston, and the home fans, as they call them here, the Red Sox faithful. Red Sox Nation. Dan Shaughnessy calls them Red Sox Nation. He read about it in the Boston Globe. And they seem to be fairly pleased with what's going on so far tonight. Carlos Guillen leading it off for the Mariners. Then Brett Boone and John Olerud to follow. Derek Lowe, having just thrown his 95th pitch of the game, he's gotten 14 of the 21 outs he's recorded on ground balls.
John, you were talking about taking yoga. Well, guess what? Derek Lowe took gymnastics when he was a kid with his sister Deanna. They both took gymnastics when he was younger.
Tom Walker throws out Guillen, who is 0 for 3 with a walk in this one. That'll bring up Brett Boone.
I saw this great quote. Derek's father, Don Lowe, he said, Deanna, you carry a 3.5 grade point average and be an above average athlete, and you will go to college. And he said, Derek, you need to carry a 2.0 and be the best baseball player in the state. I like that.
And so did Derek, did he manage that?
Well, I guess so. He's now in the big leagues. He was a basketball player, football player, and he was also a golfer in high school.
Brett Boone has never had a hit against him. What is it, 0 for 10
Well, he's 0
now?
for 10 now. And, you know, when a good hitter is having problems with certain pitchers because they're not seeing the ball quickly enough out of a guy's hand, you don't recognize the pitches as quickly as you'd like.
15 ground ball outs. And just less than a handful of fly ball outs against Lowe. Three 3-0 the count. That's in there for a strike to Boone. Olerud on deck. So this Mariner lineup looks a lot different when Edgar Martinez is not in. Missing tonight. He's usually the cleanup man. And Edgar's had such a fine year. He's hitting .308. He's got 22 homers, 84 batted in, .414 on base average. Edgar has talked about maybe not retiring at the end of this year. Boone gets a walk. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent. MLB.com, that's the place to go. The official site to get your Major League apparel and paraphernalia. It's all there at MLB.com. Timlin, the right-hander, Sauerbeck, the left-hander. As Grady Little heads out to the mound. Lowe has walked 4 tonight. Brady's going to stay with him.
First baseman, number 5, John.
Well, I'm sure Brady wanted to make sure that his blister was not bothering him at this point, because it was in the 6th inning in his last outing, so he's already into the 8th inning here.
Now, the bullpen has been pitching a lot better than early in the season, but the bullpen still has had some problems. Bullpen had leads late in games against Oakland both Tuesday and Wednesday and was not able to hold them. And Byung-Hyun Kim ended up allowing the tying run to score in the 9th inning yesterday, although the Red Sox went on to win the game in the 10th inning. 1 ball, 1 strike. 34,344 at Fenway tonight. That is the 33rd consecutive sellout here at Fenway. To look at the Pesky's pole, the right field foul pole. I asked Johnny Pesky about that today when I saw him. Well, Pesky hit a grand total of 6 home runs here at Fenway in his whole career. And just about all of them were right around that pole down the right field corner, which is officially listed at 302 feet from home plate, although Pesky said, no, 290. Well, it's 2.
Well, when you ask him, though, did he cowboy up to tell the truth?
He said that Mel Parnell, former Red Sox pitcher, had been a teammate of his. He was an outstanding pitcher. One day the Red Sox in 1966 or thereabout hit a game-winning home run right around that foul pole, and he told the story about that was Johnny Pesky's pole. Pesky had hit a game-winning home run right around that pole, and they all called it Johnny Pesky's pole ever since. Well, Lowe has walked consecutive hitters here with 1 out with a big lead, and that's going to do it for him. I don't know if it's the blister or just fatigue. He's at 107 pitches, but with Cameron coming up, Lowe is heading for the clubhouse, and Mike Timlin, a right-hander, will be summoned for the bullpen. We'll be right back.
There are ordinary disposable razors, but now there's new Sensor 3 from Gillette. Totally new handle, 3 blades, on springs that adjust to your face. No disposable shaves better. It could be the best disposable you ever threw away. New Gillette Sensor 3.
Is this how you trim your lawn? Or is this your method? Why hassle with trimmer spools that tangle, jam, and never work? Make your life easier with the Weed Thrasher, the fast and easy system specifically designed for your gas-powered trimmer. Ordinary trimmer spools jam, and the nylon twine wears down to nubs in no time. And that tangled line is a frustrating hassle. Weed Thrasher's monster cutters are tougher. They can't tangle, and replacement is a snap.
I don't need to hassle with frustrating tangled lines anymore now that I installed the Weed Thrasher head. This is the best ever.
The Weed Thrasher will easily mount onto your gas-powered trimmer or your money back. And installing the monster cutters is a snap. Extra tall grass? Give it a thrashing. Annoying brush? Give it a thrashing. Now through this special TV offer, you'll get the Weed Thrasher head and 12 tough monster cutters for only $19.99. But wait, order your Weed Thrasher now, and we'll upgrade you to rush delivery absolutely free. And there's more. Call now and ask your operator how to get free monster cutters for a lifetime. That's right. As a preferred TV buyer, we will enter you into our database, making you eligible for this special TV offer. Minimum order applies. Ask your operator. Don't delay. Order your Weed Thrasher and monster cutters now.
To get your Weed Thrasher and monster cutters, call 1-800-761-5050. Get a free upgrade to rush delivery and ask about our free monster cutters. Call 1-800-761-5050.
Sox fans a little concerned now. The Red Sox leading 6-1 in the 8th. But Derek Lowe finished up with 2 consecutive walks. He got a big ovation, though, as he left. 7 in the 3rd innings pitched, only 5 hits allowed. He seems to be in pretty good shape for his 13th win of the year. He leads the Red Sox in wins. In fact, the only Red Sox pitcher in double figures in wins. So here's Cameron, 2 men on, facing the 37-year-old right-hander Mike Timlin. Lowe with the season's high 5 walks in this game. Timlin, look at that total of walks for the whole season. 72 innings pitched. He's only walked 5 all year. 59 strikeouts, 5 walks. On the other hand, he's given up 9 home runs. Cameron is 0 for 2 with a walk. Fastball. Cameron fouled straight back. 2 men on. Boone at second, who walked. Olerud at first, who walked. The Mariners trying to make some trouble here for the Red Sox. They've got to face Pedro tomorrow in an afternoon game here. They have never, ever beaten Pedro. He is 11-0 lifetime against him. Scott Williamson, a right-hander, joins the left-hander Sauerbeck now in the Red Sox bullpen. Inside. 2-1 the count. Timlin, even at age 37, still throws pretty hard. Got the win here yesterday in the extra inning game. He won 5 games. A couple of saves. But Boston fans get nervous when the bullpen comes in. 2-2.
So far, Cameron has had some really good swings at Timlin.
8 earned runs in 15 innings pitched in the 5 games of this homestand. 3 against Oakland. 2 games before tonight against the Mariners. 2 losses, 1 save. 480 earned run average. 2-2. Cameron has got some power. Oh, strike 3 call. Cameron thought it was off the corner.
The ball appeared that, you know, it may have been away, but let's take a look. Well, it's definitely away. You can see that the catcher, watch Veritek pull it back. I mean, that's nice. A big pull there by Veritek.
Big pull, and there's Pesky's pole. By the way, he signed that foul pole. They had him sign it since it's his. Looks like he's not the only one who signed it. Do I see somewhere Joe Morgan and Dwight Evans?
No.
Signed it.
I didn't sign it.
Joe, you should have hit it closer to this. Dewey.
That would probably be correct.
What were you thinking when you hit that one all the way out there? About 380 something. See, he's down. He beats it out. Randy Wynn, who's a very fast runner, beat out that slow chop, and the bases are loaded.
Designated hitter, number 47, John Greenwood.
And that's what speed will do for you. Hit a chopper on the infield, you can beat it out.
So now the bases are loaded, and here is Mabry. He hit a double in the 7th. His win over at first base. He scored the Mariners' only run. Now he's trying to drive in some runs here. Fouls one. Off to the left. Not a whole lot of room in foul ground for an infielder to go after a ball here. Bill Miller started over, but no play. And it is 0-1 to Mabry. When we look behind third base, how quickly those stands come out right to the foul line. I mean, you're right on top of the action to sit in those seats. But keep your heads up for foul balls.
Yeah.
On the inside corner, strike 2 call.
And Mabry's not happy with that pitch. Let's take a look. Yeah, right on the corner. So says K-Zone.
Two to Mabry. 3 men on, 2 men out. The Mariners with their best chance to score a run, but all their best chances seem to have come with 2 out. And Mabry helped him out, swinging at a bad ball. So the Mariners leave them loaded. Timlin gets his job done. 6-1 Red Sox.
Coming up on SportsCenter, the AL West gets wild. Pete Rose Jr. in a minor role. What's next for the Jets? Plus Peyton Manning's big what if. SportsCenter after the game, ESPN.
ESPN HD, the big picture in sports. Available nationwide.
There's a state where the national pastime is the game of what if. What if all cars were turbocharged? What if innovation were the official currency? Saabs are made in a state of independence, where freedom is held as tightly as the road. Welcome.
The Saab 9.3 Linear Sport Sedan, available during the Everyday is Independence Day summer sales event for as low as $299 a month.
Critics call Playmakers powerfully addictive.
I will snap you at the knees.
ESPN has scored sensationally.
The best 60 minutes of the year.
Playmakers. Series premiere Tuesday 9 p.m. on ESPN. Presented commercial-free by Universal Pictures.
Let me bounce this number off you.
At Quirk Chevrolet, save up to $10,000 on the longest-lasting, most dependable truck on the road, Chevy Silverado. All this and savings up to $10 grand only from the guy who wants you to wear the gold bow tie. Quirk Chevrolet gets you from 0 to 60 in record time with financing as low as 0% for up to 60 months on Maine's #1 selling truck. Up to $10,000 in savings, down to 0% financing. Think you can get a better deal than Quirk Chevrolet? Then you don't know Jack.
Community college is a great place to start college. You can explore different careers. They have small classes and faculty that really care about your success. And you can play sports, too.
I go to my community college. I'm studying in the healthcare profession. I'm busy and I work, and community college fits my schedule.
Whatever you're looking for.
You'll find it at a Maine community college.
Maine's community colleges. Brighten your future today.
ESPN Sunday Night Baseball, presented by Nextel. Tonight from Fenway Park, Boston. I'm John Miller with Joe Morgan. The Red Sox leading the Mariners 6-1. Boston trying to win its 4th in a row and inflict the Mariners' 5th consecutive defeat. Mariners already with their season's worst 4-game losing streak in progress. Bill Miller started a 5-run 4th-inning rally with a double off the left field wall. He is 1 for 2 with a walk. They've been followed by Jason Varitek and then Johnny Damon. It's Julio Mateo, who throws a called strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Yankees won today. Jose Contreras, back from his injury rehab assignment. He pitched 7 shutout innings against the Baltimore Orioles at Yankee Stadium. By the way, we're talking about all those MVP candidates in the American League. There are a lot of them. This ball driven to center. But Cameron is right there. And that's one away. One of those should be Manny Ramirez, who visited with my partner Joe Morgan before the ball game. Let's have a listen.
The players on your team say you never change emotions during the game. You never get frustrated. You strike out, you don't care. You say, look at them next time. How do you keep focus like that when things aren't going well?
I don't know, maybe because my mom, she's so calm, you know, she's so relaxed. You know,
What's her name?
Oh, Onelcida. She never get mad, you know. I think I'm like my mom. That's why I'm the same way when I even playing, you know. Maybe sometimes things are not going to go your way, but you're just going to relax and you're going to get out of it.
And I thought it was interesting because his dad, Aristides, I mean, they really had a big influence on his personality and the way that he was brought up, because he wasn't brought up in the best of neighborhoods, but, you know, they taught him the right way and gave him a good work ethic.
Jason Varitek with a called strike. 1 ball, 1 strike.
He went to high school in, you know, George Washington High in Washington Heights, and they said from the outfield you could see the lights at Yankee Stadium at night. And, you know, he grew up just wanting to play in Yankee Stadium. And the first time he played there, he had 2 home runs and a double. And it was like, you know, just an unbelievable experience, he said, for him, going, you know, looking across the river at Yankee Stadium all those years as a little kid, and then being able to go to Yankee Stadium and play, and to do so well.
1-2 to Varitek. The pop-up. Yen, the third second baseman. That is out number 2. Well, Manny Ramirez was New York City's public high school player of the year in 1991. He hit .615 with 14 homers in 22 games. And he was, about 4 years ago, inducted into the New York City Public Schools Athletic Hall of Fame, along with Bobby Thompson, he of the famous home run in 1951, John Franco of the Mets, Sean Dunston, longtime big leaguer, now retired, and Nate Tiny Archibald, the outstanding basketball star of the NBA, Manny Ramirez. So George Washington High is actually in Manhattan, up the upper part of Manhattan.
You know, interesting because everyone that saw him as a high school player said he looks the same as a hitter now. I mean, he looked that good when he was in high school. And a couple of guys said he was the greatest high school hitter they'd ever seen. Some of the scouts.
Johnny Damon taking a ball. Well, and there've been a lot of good ones.
Yeah.
1-2 the count. Manny Ramirez. And David Ortiz kidding around with him again. Two down, nobody on. Johnny Damon's been on base 3 times tonight. 2 walks. And he singled in the 4th inning of that 5-run rally. Knocked in the first of those 5 runs with a single, and later scored another one. He's done his job as a leadoff man tonight. He's been on base 3 times. Mateo in relief of Franklin. 6-1, Boston out in front. Slider missed. 2 balls, rather 3 balls, 2 strikes now. So tomorrow, Pedro Martinez pitches here.
Well, the tough thing, if you're the Mariners, you've never beaten Pedro. And you need to win a ball game here in this series. And you're going up against, you know, probably as tough a pitchers you can find in the game today.
Damon took that one off his foot. 3-2 the count. On the other hand, it'll be interesting to see how Pedro does tomorrow since he was so sick earlier this week.
Well, I don't think he would pitch if he didn't feel like he was capable of going out pitching 6 or 7 innings. So I think he would probably take an extra day if he wasn't healthy. I saw him briefly as he was walking off the field today and looked fine to me. He's never been a big guy, you know. But they did say he lost a few pounds in the last few days with his illness.
The first base line, Olerud takes it to the bag, and that is the inning. 11 straight Red Sox retired, but only after they took the big lead. Sanchez, Wilson, and Ichiro due up. Last chance for the Mariners.
At Nissan, we were brainstorming about the Sentra, and everyone had something to add. A more powerful engine, automatic transmission, anti-lock brakes, 15-inch alloy wheels, a 180-watt 7-speaker stereo. The result, the 2.5 limited edition Sentra. Unlimited possibilities with 0.9 financing for 60 months or $1,500 cash back. Available at your Nissan dealer now.
I've made a lot of news on the baseball diamond, but if you want to find out about this diamond, you've got to go talk to your doctor.
Ready to try Viagra for the first time? See your doctor and find out if a free sample's right for you.
My doctor says it's right for me. That's why I stay with it. For more information, go to Viagra.com.
The experts at Hotels.com know how close all the places are to where you want to stay. All at the best price. Hotels.com. Best prices, best places. Guaranteed.
I'm Stanley Johnson. I've got a great family. I've got a 4-bedroom house in a great community. Like my car? It's new. I even belong to the local golf club. How do I I do it? I'm in debt up to my eyeballs. I can barely pay my finance charges. Somebody help me.
Need a smart way to consolidate your debt? At LendingTree.com, banks compete, and you choose the loan that's right for you. When banks compete, you win at LendingTree.com.
Red Sox 6, Mariners 1, top of the ninth inning. Boston trying to make it 3 straight here over the Mariners on the weekend with 1 more to go tomorrow. There is Scott Williamson on to pitch now for Boston, the former closer of the Cincinnati Reds. You see his numbers overall this year, including his time with Cincinnati. He had 21 saves. The Red Sox have not used him in that way. Hard throwing right-hander. Turned out he had a little tendonitis in his upper arm, above the elbow, in that bicep area. He gave him a couple of days off earlier this week. And here he is. Sanchez. And then Ben Davis has come out on deck. Ichiro due up third in the inning for the Seattle Mariners. Williamson in relief of Timlin. And that's ball 1.
John, earlier you mentioned the fact that you sent our condolences to the Bonds family in the loss of their father, Bobby, and their
1 ball, no strikes to count to Sanchez. That's a strike.
And the rest of his family. And it was interesting for me. I heard Willie McCovey make a comment about Bobby, and he said, he is part of my family. When you played in those days, you were part of a family, the baseball family of that team. And Bobby and all of them have remained a very close family.
That is a fair ball. Past third. Hits the railing. Ricochets into shallow left. Nomar over to retrieve it. An aspect of Fenway that is rather unique to this ballpark. Sanchez held to a single.
But I want to make sure that all of us condolences to the Bonds family. And I've known Barry and Bobby for a long period of time, and their entire family, and it's a great family. And it's going to be a great loss, for people in the Bay Area, because Bobby was a fixture there. He was always around. He was part of the scene. It wasn't like he was just a baseball player that played there and then left. He was always in the area, and he was always part of all the charitable things that went on in the Bay Area. If you were having a golf tournament, you were doing something for charity, and you called Bobby, he was always there. So he's going to be missed. And I think one of the things for me is he was one of the most underrated players of his time, because, Barry gets a lot of adulation now because, he's done a lot of things, but all the records he was breaking, especially with power and speed, were of his father, Bobby. And Bobby was the first, in my opinion, of that group that was power and speed. He could fly. And he was a batting coach for the Giants, as you see there with Barry. But he was a guy that could hit with power, steal bases, and he could play the outfield. When I say he's underrated, the reason he's underrated because anytime you're brought up and you're in the outfield with Willie Mays, you're going to get second billing. And he really didn't get a chance to show what he could do until after Willie left and went to New York, and then he had some of his greatest years. So I think he was really one of the underrated players of his era.
Well, he was immediately dubbed the next Willie Mays, which
tough tag.
There's no such thing as the next Willie Mays.
And anytime you're in the outfield with Willie Mays, you're going to be compared. And let's face it, there's only one Willie Mays.
And Bobby Bonds, I broadcast his games in 1978 when he went to the Texas Rangers.
Right.
Got to know him there. And like his son Barry, very durable. That's going to be a double play. Kevin Millar grabs that liner off the bat of Davis and doubles up Sanchez. So 2 down and nobody on, just like that, with Ichiro coming up. By the way, we want to tie up one of our loose ends. The next poll question we asked, which of these teams will not qualify for the postseason? Red Sox, Athletics, Mariners, Yankees, 4 teams going for 3 spots. And out of 71,000 plus votes, the majority seem to feel that the Red Sox will not make it, and 31% said Oakland.
That's interesting. That Seattle, finished 3rd, in that voting.
And they were the team that got left out last year. Here's Ichiro. He is 1 for 4 in the game. 2 down, nobody on in the 9th inning. But if this score holds, then the Seattle Mariners will be just 1 game ahead of Oakland in the West. The Red Sox will remain tied with Oakland in the wild card. And they would remain 5 games back of the Yankees. Just a few days ago, the Red Sox were 7 games back of the Yankees, 2 games back of Oakland in the wild card, and things looked awfully bleak here in New England for the Red Sox faithful. They are 1 out away from winning their 4th in a row.
Well, I think the Yankees got a big shot in the arm today with Contreras pitching as well as he did, if he's going to be able to stay in that rotation.
And that's a name that I want to put into MVP consideration for that team. Jorge Posada.
Yeah, good point.
He's having a very fine year. Catching that Yankee pitching staff, a veteran staff. Vastly improved as a catcher and having a very strong power year with the bat a la Yogi Berra. 2-2 to Ichiro. The fans rise to their feet at Fenway. Slider, Walker, and the Red Sox win their 4th in a row. And the Mariners' season worst losing streak gets worse. They are now at 5 losses in a row, and now will have to face Pedro, their longtime nemesis, tomorrow. Stay tuned now. SportsCenter coming up next. Derek Lowe wins his 13th. The Red Sox try for a 4-game sweep of the Mariners tomorrow. I'm John Miller for Joe Morgan. Thanks for tuning in. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.